Hello everyone, let's start with the polity section of June 2026 current affairs. So the first topic is West Bengal public safety and public order bills. Okay, so what is it all about? So the core points to remember is that is prevention before the incident. So here it is all talking all about the Preventive Detention Act. Okay, so first of all, the Preventive Detention Act. So if we learn about this, then when in which article does it comes? So under Article 22. Okay, writing it here, Article 22. Okay, so now what does this article say is all about, this news says all about? So preventive detention can be used for persons considered dangerous or desperate. Detention can be extended up to 1 year without trial. So 1 year without trial, and advisory board review is required beyond 3 months. So after 3 months, there is a requirement of advisory board review. So the reasons must for the detention, it must be generally be communicated within 5 days. The Public Order Amendment Bill adds compensation for damage to public or private property. Legal representation before the advisory board is restricted with a narrow exemption. So all you should remember, the first is which article does preventive detention comes under, to Article 22. The next, how to memorize it. So if anyone is having any problem that they can't memorize this, then remember that you are going and there is a stop. Okay, so you have to stop before. It is like a prevention. Okay, so before any kind of disturbance and all to occur. So this is about preventive detention. Okay, so remember that what is this all about? So the West Bengal Public Safety and Control of Antisocial Activities Bill of 2026, it basically gives the authorities the power to detain individuals who are desperate or dangerous to the community. Okay, so this basically acts, here it is written, see, that is as a preemptive action. Okay, so it is a pre-action, it is before any incident would occur. Okay, so this is about preventive detention. Yeah, so the next is telecom authorization rules. So here what is about all, so the core is license to authorization. Now what you should remember from this, so basically the framework has shifted from licensing to authorization, and it is saying that operators, they may migrate to the new system or they continue existing licenses until expiry. Okay, and basically why it is done, so in order to avoid the paperwork and the lengthy complex procedures, so this method is adopted. It is not that important to remember, but you can remember, like, see here, memory example I have written here, that is, imagine a telecom operator changing from a thick paper file of licenses to simple authorized pass. Okay, so this is all about this article. There is a recent amendments to the drugs rule 1945, so faster entry and same safety. Now what this is all about, so basically this is all about import for examination, testing, analysis moves from prior physical license to prior intimation. So the online acknowledgement acts as the legal clearance for the import, and here it is telling how the quality, the safety and the efficacy standard of the Drugs and Commodities Act 1940, they are not relaxed. Okay, so the quality, safety and efficacy should not be compromised. Okay, so this is all that is stated in this drugs rule 1945. Yeah, now the National Traders Welfare Board. So the core is trader welfare plus less compliance. So National Traders Welfare Board is an advisory body under DPIIT. Okay, and nodal ministry is Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and it was constituted in 2019. It advises on trade welfare, simpler rules, finance, social security and compliance burden. DG Dukan and ONDC, these are highlighted as digital integration initiatives. So what is ONDC? Open Network for Digital Commerce, and the DG Dukan. So these helps in the integration of this. That is National Traders Welfare Board. Okay, so remember that this is an advisory body, neither a statutory nor anything, or it is an advisory body constituted under DPIIT, Nodal Ministries, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Yeah. So here an example is given, like picture a small kirana owner carrying a heavy compliance bag. So here NTWB helps make a bag lighter. Okay, so like what? So basically these DZ Dukan and ONDC platforms, they help in making these compliance bag lighter. Okay. Yeah. So basically, these NTWBs, they will advise the government on policies to improve the welfare of small traders, retailers and their employees, reduce their compliance burdens and modernize the internal trade. Okay, so they in a way will advise the government to take these steps so that the small traders will be benefited. Okay. So the next is right to work on footpath. So yes, right to work on footpath is a fundamental right, and the Supreme Court has declared that safe walking on demarcated, well-maintained footpaths is a fundamental right. Article 21 is central. So which all article does it takes? So is Article 21, then is Article 19 and 14. Okay, right to movement under Article 19 and right to equality, as we can state, under Article 14. So providing footpath is described as a basic municipal duty. The court noted that motorization and urbanization neglected pedestrians. So the court sought a statutory framework, responsibility and remedies for pedestrian rights. Yeah. The next is National Testing Agency. So here all about secure and fair national exams. So this has already been in news, and so first of all, NTA is an autonomous specialist body established in 2017. The nodal ministry of NTA is Ministry of Education, and it is registered under Societies Registration Act 1860. Okay, and the major exams conducted under the NTA are NET UG, JEE Main, CUET, UGC NET, CSIR UGC NET. Now the Radhakrishnan Committee was formed in June 2024 after the NET UG paper leak, and reforms include digital or hybrid testing, biometrics, facial recognition, stronger center monitoring and all. Okay, so these all reforms you can help. It will help in writing your mains answer. Like reforms include digital, hybrid testing, biometrics, facial recognition, stronger center monitoring and all. Okay, yeah. Now, right to travel abroad versus speedy trial. So, liberty, first is liberty, that is your liberty to movement. Then, justice balance, okay, that is speedy trial. So, now, Article 21 protects the right to travel abroad, but not absolute. It is not an absolute right. The accused liberty must be balanced with the victim's right to speedy trial. Release of a passport does not automatically mean permission to travel abroad. Restrictions should satisfy proportionality, reasonable, necessary, and proportionate. Harmonious construction means competing constitutional rights should be read together. So, basically, the right to travel is not an absolute right under Article 21. Remember this much only. Okay. Yeah. Next, the Election Commission rule on election symbols. So, symbols are allocated by the Election Commission (ECI) rules. So, election commissions are allotted under the Election Symbols Reservation and Allotment Order 1968. Recognized parties receive reserved symbols. Unrecognized parties are independent. They use free symbol list. Free symbols includes fruits, appliances, everyday objects, food items, equipments. Some symbols have state or duty restrictions. The apple is one example in the notes. Okay. Now, animals are generally not allowed. So, why this was in news? So, see here, BSP's elephant is a pre-ban exemption because it was already there existing. So now the Cockroach Janata Party, it has animals involved, that is cockroach. So this is not generally allocated. Okay, so this is the news all about. So if in exam it will come like animal symbols can be allocated as election symbols under the ECI rules. So no, animal symbols cannot be allocated. Okay, yeah. And another thing, when you go to the ECI for election symbol, you will avail those which are made available to you for free, not those which you invent. Okay, so it is written here. See, you will select from those that is available to you, not those but you invent. Then is Northeastern Council. So it includes the 8 states, that is one regional planning forum. Northeastern Council is a statutory advisory body under the NEC, that is Northeastern Council Act 1971. So though it is an act, it is a statutory advisory body, and it came into being on 7th November 1972 at Shillong. It have 8 states. Sikkim joined through our 2002 amendment, and nodal ministry is donor, that is the development of the Northeastern region. Now, the Union Home Minister is the ex-officio chairman. Remember this can come in your examination. Like the Northeastern Council involves 7 states. So no, it involves 8 states. It also includes Sikkim. There can question come like Sikkim was already in part. No, Sikkim became a part in the 2002 amendment. Then you can remember that it is a statutory body. It can come like it is a constitutional body. So no, it is a statutory body. Nodal ministry can come like Ministry of Home Affairs. So no, the nodal ministry is the Ministry of Development of Northeastern region. Then the Union Home Minister is the ex-officio chairman. So remember this very carefully. It is very important. Now it is the apex regional planning body for coordinated development in Northeast. Yeah. The next is Immigration and Foreigners Act 2025. So entry, stay and exit of foreigners. So this act regulates this Immigration and Foreigners Act 2025. It regulates the entry, transit, residence, movement and exit of foreigners in India. It provides designated immigration post and a bureau of immigration. Foreign nationals may have mandatory registration at prescribed. So what you should remember, that is any kind of regulations or regarding the entry, the exit, the movement of the foreigners, they are or should be regulated under the Immigration and Foreigners Act 2025. Yeah, this much. Then is Election Commission of India. So basically under it comes under the Article 324. Now it is a permanent constitutional body under Article 324, established in, of course, 25th January 1950. Now it conducts elections to which all agencies? So like the Parliament, the State Legislature, the President and the Vice President. So the ECI conducts election for Parliament, State Legislature, President and Vice President. And it enforces a model code of conduct. Panchayat and municipal elections, these are handled by State Election Commission. Remember it? It can come like Panchayat and municipalities, they conduct those elections are conducted by the ECI. So no, it is conducted by the State Election Commissioner. Okay, yeah. So see here, that is the ECI, it takes a look over the National Election Rulebook, and the State Election Commission, it handles the local body elections. Now the National Human Rights Commission, so it is a statutory body for the human rights and not a constitutional. Remember, it is a statutory. Headquarters is in New Delhi. Nodal ministry is Ministry of Home Affairs, and it is aligned with the Paris Principles. The chairperson, who are the chairperson? So the chairperson is a retired CJI, that is Chief Justice of India, or a retired Supreme Court judge. So one of them can become a chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission. Now other members include judges, and human rights experts. Now the ex-officio members include chairpersons of 7 national commissions. Like we have NCSC, NCBC. So same, those national commissions chairpersons will be included in this as the ex-officio members. Okay. Yeah, so remember that it is a statutory body under Ministry of Home Affairs, under the Paris Principles. The chairperson is a retired CJI or retired Supreme Court judge, and it includes other members as judges or human rights experts, and the ex-officio members as the chairpersons of the 7 national commissions. Then is the National Sports Tribunal. So this is basically about the sports-related disputes. So National Sports Tribunal is a statutory body under the National Sports Governance Act. So question can come like it is an executive body. So no, it is a statutory body. Yeah. So and of course it will hear and adjudicate the sports-related disputes. Yeah. So this is all about you should learn from here, and the members here are selected through a search cum selection committee. Okay. Now what is an under trial prisoner? Who is an under trial prisoner? So see, accused is not equal to convicted. Okay, one who is accused is not equal to convicted. So an under trial is an accused person kept in judicial custody while the case is being heard. So under trial means a person who is kept in the judicial custody while the case is being heard. Police custody means the physical custody of the police. That is, the judicial custody is the custody under the magistrate in jail, and police is under the physical custody of police. Now, under trial prisoners are in judicial, not police. Remember it. Under trial prisoners comes under judicial custody. That is under the magistrate in jail, not under police custody. Yeah. The next is how you should remember or how you can remember it. And yes, the being an under trial does not mean that the person has been convicted. So see, the case is still going on. So the case is still going on, and the accused is on the judicial custody. That is, the guilt is not decided. So whenever the guilt is not decided, then you are not convicted. Okay, the one is not convicted. So the case is still going on. The judgment is to be declared. So that one person is known as under trial, and the person is under the judicial custody, not the police custody. Okay. So yes. Now the next, that is Telangana Statehood Day. So Article 3, under Article 3 under the Reorganization Act, Telangana was made a new state in 2nd June 2014. Yeah. So Telangana attained statehood on 2nd June 2014 and became India's 29th state. Okay. Now it was created by Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014 under Article 3. Now, is it considered as a constitutional amendment? So no, it was not created by a constitutional amendment. Already if you have learned polity, you would be knowing that a new state formation does not come under constitutional amendment, or a state formation from a merger or splitting of the states, then it does not come under constitutional amendment. Yeah. So the movement reflected a long struggle for separate identity. Hyderabad was shared with Andhra Pradesh for 10 years and is now Telangana's sole capital. Yeah. And the last topic is appointment of Supreme Court judges. So Article 24 is related to the Supreme Court judges. So Article 24 governs appointment, resignation and removal of Supreme Court judges. Appointment follows the collegium. So they are appointed by a collegium, recommendation of the CJI and 4 senior Supreme Court judges, with the president appointing. So the president appoints and the collegium is CJI plus 4 senior Supreme Court judges. And a judge can resign before 65 by writing to the president. Removal is only for proven misbehavior or incapacity through the parliamentary special majority process. The notes state that no Supreme Court judge has been removed so far. Yeah. So they are how they are elected or how they come to the position, like by the collegium, which is CJI plus 4 senior most judges, and the president appoints them. Yeah. And remember the removal conditions, that is proved misbehavior or incapacity. Yes. So this much is for this lecture.